Someone is definitely in a situation where they've been doing something for somebody who isn't grateful, showing that they're not as grateful as you feel like they should be. Um, like they're saying you're not giving them enough, you're not doing enough. And even though they signed a contract to, allow you to do what it is that you're doing for them, I feel like they're trying to uh, cancel this contract. They still want you out, is what I'm getting. So this could be a group of lepers that you've decided to help out. And I'm seeing them like you made them feel so special and so healthy, that they started to conspire against you. Like it's something different about you that they are uncomfortable with. And I feel like, there's somebody in this group that is you're still willing to help out, and you can see me now, but you won't see me later. And something about your friends being able to help you out of the situation. Hi, you just landed on good dirt in a crack pot at the psychic ward. I'm Rosetta the Weeder, your psychic tarot reader. Many were called to this channel, but only few will be chosen to take root in this spiritual journey. First, I'm going to read the energy in the pot and prepare a place for you. Then I'm going to take a look at the cards to find out what led you here and where you'll be headed afterwards. Some of you will fall by the wayside and be burnt by the sun, devoured by the birds. Some of you will be choked by the thorns, but those who remain steadfast will be planted in God's kingdom. Remember, this is a general reading, so everything might not fit all of your situation at once. Take what applies for now and let the rest simmer. So pollen, seedlings, welcome. My intentions are to see you shine and succeed. I'm not a doctor or professional, just someone who cares. Okay, now let's get started with this current energy. Holy Spirit, God, the Son, Father, guide my gift to align with your collective. What's going on with these lepers? Somebody was quoted or somebody wrote a quote, or you can quote this person on saying that they'll keep doing what they said they were going to do. They committed to something that they're trying to back out of. And it's something about their smile. Like they have this smirky expression that is like clearly not genuine. Something about you being in this situation now and they can see you and they can have their fun and feel connected to you. But at some point you're going to disappear. You're going to leave this group and whoever is meant to go with you is going to come. Whoever is meant to stay is going to be burnt. They're going to live in their own filth or whatever it is that you sought out in the first place. What was it that attracted you to them, to help them out? What did you see in them that needed help and you made a promise to help them and they promised to be helped, but then I feel like they got cocky. They felt like cool guys. You could have even been on probation when you helped these people. Maybe you got into some trouble with the law and you were told to go volunteer at a shelter or somewhere where people needed some mentoring, and you humbled yourself to such an extent that this group started to bully you. You're getting whatever it is that you were from this. You're getting that. Okay. Maybe there's just something different going on with these people. You have a gift that goes far beyond whatever this situation is. I see you as the King of Pentacles moving into the future from the world. Okay. The world that you're in right now. Maybe you weren't appreciating your family, or your family didn't appreciate you. They may be juvenile, they may be immature, not capable of seeing your potential, or they see it very clearly and they're just jealous of it. These people need to uh, solidify their faith in God, because I feel like you're leaving this situation and they're not going to have anybody to cling to. So whatever this is, this probationary period that you had to go through, it might have been difficult just because these people were not very easy or fun or nice to be around. But you were there something entirely different than whatever they think you're there for. And I feel like you're gonna be able to go with this approval that says, yes, you went through the process and you passed. And also the person that's allowing you to move to the next level may not necessarily support you, but this person is just doing their job. You technically required all the you technically fulfilled all of the requirements. And I'm feeling like somebody is going to be in a high place. They're being moved to a very high position, but the people around you and within this new position, they still look down on you. And it's very good that this is happening, because that means you have so far to grow. I feel like everyone in this group looks down on you. It's because you are in the lowest position of this very high position. It's like you have a janitor's job in heaven, okay? At least you're in heaven at this point, and you know that you came from a place that could be considered hell, where you had to count pennies and nickels just to make it, and now you technically have enough to do whatever it is that crosses your mind. Financially, spiritually, mentally, this could be somebody who might have had some issues, some psychological issues, some anxiety. Maybe they could have been hearing voices or hallucinating, and other sick people saw you as being sicker than them, and they somehow try to bully you. But I feel like these people are going to remain in their sick position, and you're getting better. You're going to a better place. You're healing. You're already healed. Okay, so you could go wherever you want with this healing. And also this healing is your ticket, is not just your meal ticket, is your ticket out of here, but is your ticket into the next place where you're going. Because the next group of people are going to recognize that you've been through a situation that could be compared to hell, and you made it out. But I'm seeing that you may not be in your high priestess mode right now. You may still be in a low level. Maybe you're the fool in this situation, but you have a long way to go to move out of this new probationary period. I feel like it's a process, because where you're going is so important, so amazing, and so beautiful, that you are going to have to go through this process of elimination. You're going to have to go through this filtering process. And basically all your friends are going to get left behind. They don't even consider themselves your friends. These are people you consider to be your friends. They're the ones that's going to fall short, because it's true that they can't keep up with you, which shows that they were holding on to you in the first place. They're not running their own race. They're just trying to keep up with you. So regardless of how you think about this situation, I feel like you're moving forward and you're moving towards this peace, this safe haven, somewhere where you can feel welcomed, to at least work hard, somewhere where you're not being chastised for picking up your own bed and walking on a day where people are expected to lay down all day, or like, is their Sabbath, but for you it's just another day, and you're not letting any day go unworked, or something like that. Like, what you're doing is so important that it doesn't matter what holiday it is. This is your life. If you have an opportunity that comes, you're going to take it. And these people who are, stuck in their ways that don't really make sense, they're going to be sick forever. They've committed to this sickness, whereas though you might have just been going through this process to get better. Almost like you took a vaccine. You got a vaccine shot, which makes you healthier, and now you're more immune to the next round of viruses that may penetrate these people who refuse to take the shot, they said they'd rather be sick and pretend that they're okay because everybody else is sick around them. But you're actually okay, and you can go do whatever you want in this world. Whereas though they have to stay in their spot, they have to stay in their seat, they have to lay on their bed and be sick. They have a purpose. Something's going to happen to them. Maybe you'll find out. Maybe you'll be the one doing it. So let's clarify this Divine Lovers card. Who is this Divine Lovers? And this Queen or this King of Cups? So there's a family coming up, this divine lovers. Okay, so maybe this is King of Cups is coming in to bring you love, and they want to start a family with you. But I feel like you're really focused on your work right now, focused on your career. But then I'm seeing this Two of Cups. Like, you're like, well, maybe we can work together if we can be on the same page. Because anything that's not part of your agenda is going to get tossed out. I feel like you're just not playing games. You definitely have a place in your heart that's meant for you. You have a goal that you're meant to accomplish. And it might start looking really awkward to some people because they don't know where you're going. And they're like, well, this doesn't make sense. You're supposed to be sick with us. And you're getting up and you're walking and you're carrying your bag. You're not supposed to be working. You're supposed to be laying down. You're supposed to be lame. You're supposed to be depressed. But that's changing. But they still have to stay in that place, that sadness. Because they've made too many promises, too many commitments. They signed too many contracts to say that this is what they'll do for the rest of their life. So you definitely slipped through the cracks. But also I feel like whatever you did to get here was purposely so you could get here. Like somebody almost like, yeah, somebody definitely did something just so they could get arrested. They wanted to get arrested because they don't have no place to stay. They felt like they were gonna die out in the cold. So they did something to try and find this prison cell. Basically their thoughts are keeping them locked in like a prison because they were afraid of their own thoughts. So they accepted this mental illness to say, okay, well, I agree. I'll be sick. I'll be mentally ill as long as you don't make me think for myself, because they just can't do it. That's where they are. But you went through this journey for some reason. Maybe you needed to see firsthand that some people just don't do things the way you do things. Maybe you just had to see that you really are set apart. Because I feel like I'm talking to somebody who really is the jockey. Like this person really is the quarterback in a situation. But maybe you did some type of Make-A-Wish Foundation or something where it's like maybe ordinarily you wouldn't have been in this group. You wouldn't have been around these receptionists or this staff. But you got to see firsthand just the way they operate, how they work. That you get to see their energy for real. Just the energy of constantly pulling somebody down, being mad that somebody is doing good for themselves. And it's like they feel like they get an extra drip of morphine because they laying in the bed and complaining about being in pain. Not to belittle those who are in pain, but the whole point is to get better, not to be on drugs. So somebody would rather be on drugs, even if they don't have pain. They want to make up pain just so they can get these drugs, just so they can feel important, just so somebody can tell them that they're pretty and nice and sweet, even though none of these things are true. Whereas somebody who actually works out, keeps a positive mindset, it has a calm demeanor and loves themselves, that beauty is going ignored. That beauty is going mocked. Somebody is saying you're conceited. But here's somebody with a face full of makeup who's afraid to be seen without it. Who's mocking you. Somebody took something that you gave. All right, this is like, I feel like you gave, like you paid for something. Even like with this probation is a metaphor, but it could have been a fee. Like you paid a fee to somebody because they told you it was required to get through, but really it wasn't. You really didn't have to go through what you've been through. But now that you have, is an experience that they can't take away. But I feel like whoever took this payment from you or watched you suffer for no reason, they're the ones left with their they're the ones getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Like they should have never had this in the first place. They should have never had the opportunity to see you down. And now that's what they're clinging to and trying to use as leverage over your situation. But the fact that they saw you down just reiterates the fact that they are still in that down place. Whatever they call down is their home, is what I'm getting at. Your rock bottom is their home. And I feel like they're the only ones who know. Like they just won't get the same spotlight as you. They don't get the same attention. So, I mean, it's like they're just trying to jump in front of the news report and talk to the anchor, but it's a distraction. I mean, they're not being interviewed. And people are just kind of laughing at the fact that they're on camera. But at the end of the day, you went through this process. It's almost like happenstance because there's space for somebody who goes through this, and you went through this. You know, it's like almost like like an insurance policy that, well, let's just make this space or create this position for somebody who actually gets pulled down by these people. Most people don't come anywhere close to this bottom, but let's just make a place for anybody who does. And then if they happen to survive, they get the throne. You know, something like this is it's almost like a clause at the end of a contract that was really meant to everybody was supposed to be in this position. But you were the one that stood up. You were the one that actually pulled the sword out of the stone. And maybe you knew that because you have an athletic spirit. Maybe you knew it was something important, something special at the end of this line. That's why you held true to it. I'm getting the 7 of Cups. Like you had to make a decision at some point. I feel like you might have had this secret message that if you hang in there, things are going to get better. Even though you see people dropping left and right. You see people fighting life left and right. No matter what kind of situation they're in, they're unhappy. You see people struggling. And maybe it just was like a challenge for you. Maybe you just needed a challenge in life and you took on this challenge and it almost felt like it was going to take you under. But you're receiving the crown. You're receiving the championship right now. And it was always meant to be. So most people didn't even know this was an option. I feel like if it was the case, you would have just had more people you just would have seen more people falling around you because no matter what, you were meant to win. Yeah, anybody getting involved at this time was just exposing the fact that they don't belong here. Knight of Swords. Yeah, this is definitely your field. 7 of Wands. You're taking home the victory. Six of Wands. It's like the whole fight is about you. How did she get here? How is she still here? Why did she get to leave? It's all about you. You definitely broke some hearts. But I also feel like their hearts are just broken. It's just the way it is with them. But because you succeed, now you know that you don't have to really apologize. You don't have to live this life of walking on eggshells. And if someone gets upset, you can clearly see, because you have intuition, you can clearly see that people are upset because of something you've done. But now you know that you succeeding is not a bad thing. And also, it just goes to say that You upsetting people is not a bad thing. People being upset is not a bad thing. They were you just went to the root and found out exactly what they were about. Do they support this whole journey of yours? Do they really support you and who you are, or are they just around causing problems? So I feel like that's the energy that you undoubtedly receive right now. You know that you got haters, and they know that they're haters. And like I said, they're going to be used for something. I mean, they're not going to prosper with you at all. They're not going where you're going at all. But they're used. You're creating a better world for yourself, one where they don't exist in it. And the more they show you themselves, the more you realize exactly what you don't want, what can't get through. So if you really had it your way, I feel like you will hang them up. You will hang them up on a wall and force them to tell you exactly what they are and what they're about, just so you could write them off the list. So that's why I feel like at this point, the more they try to get your attention, and the more they try to get the attention of those who support you, the more they just cancel themselves out. You just go numb. You go completely immune to their energy. It's a vaccine. That's why you went through this situation. You got out because you don't belong there. You're the only one who can rise up. They're standing on their tippy toes just to reach the bottom of your feet. That's the way it works. They are in agony just to keep up with you, just to be able to hear what it is that you're saying. How do you enunciate these words of yours? How let alone how you think and what these thoughts mean. They're in agony. I feel like the whole earth at this point, maybe that's just how separate you are. You worked hard at this. Study to show yourself approved. You're being approved.